All right, so I think it's time to talk Daredevil.
Let's do it.
Let's get it going. I never put on the Jeddah race spoilers, so I hope everybody has seen the race before they tuned in. I don't know why you would tune into a video talking about the race if you haven't seen it.
It'd be kind of weird.
Or clearly not in cars. So Daredevil, like we're not inside a car, like a cockpit.
Right,
so
no,
you're not
I
watching the
heard
race.
you. I was just confused.
Okay. Daredevil has been born again as a series with a double entendre meaning comes to a close. Ripped off the comics, but also bringing the show back from the dead. A lot of takes on it. Overall, I think we nailed it when we talked about this before the show, about which episodes were reshoots, which ones weren't. It's night and day. It's so obvious which ones are the newer episodes, and they were the better episodes.
They were. I agree.
It's where everything happened.
Yep. And you called it with Deborah Ann Wall. I mean, like you said, we had a lot correct with kind of predictions and whatnot. What did you think of it?
I'd like to see what that Muse twist or like killing would have been like with the current creative team behind the show.
Yeah. I wonder if they would have kind of made him seemingly a one and done like that. Although we have discussed he's on set for season 2, right?
He
the
could
actor.
be coming back. Yes, exactly.
Which could be a flashback, understandably, or something along those lines. But I don't know. We'll see. But in terms of the finale, yeah, go ahead.
My initial takeaway is that they're trying to do the Defenders right this time. They don't want to admit that it didn't quite stick the landing the first time because Netflix doesn't share anything close to ratings. They just say this was the most watched, that was the most watched, whatever.
Yeah.
So as far as we know, I know a ton of people that watched it, but you don't really have a metric on who watched it.
Yeah.
I know a lot more people that watched Daredevil, the Netflix show, than watched the Defenders show where they brought them all together. So I think that him going to that room, if they had known how successful this would be and what direction they were going to take it in, that would have been filled with Easter eggs for season 2 to set it up. It would have been like Jessica Jones in that room, Luke Cage. Instead, they had to do characters and like leave it kind of murky so that I'm sure we could start season 2 with that room being more well lit. Or like maybe at the end of the first episode, they show you the room well lit and you see everybody who's in on it, do it like a heist movie or something.
Yeah, that could be fun.
But it's okay. So the Eternals problem, I'll call it the problem that we have with the Eternals. Spoilers for Daredevil, Born Again. Spoilers for all MCU products that we've seen, which is a majority of them, 88% probably.
Probably more.
The Eternals problem is the fact that at the end of that movie, there's a freaking giant deity frozen over most of the Earth. And it doesn't come up any other time until like Captain America Brave New World, where they decide, all right, we're going to do something with this now, because they started branching out and doing too big of things. And I bring that to the point of the Kingpin is controlling all of New York City, and we didn't see Spider-Man. Right?
Yeah. I was going to ask, like, where is he? Like, Kingpin has now risen to the point where he was able to literally black out the entire city. And he's pretty much achieved his goal of making it its own city state. And like, I feel like even though, the events of a multiverse of madness happened and no one knows who Peter Parker is, or Spider-Man still exists. Like, that's the whole thing. He's still like, I feel like by now
they
he would have
mentioned
shown up and been like, what is happening? Like, what's going on? And do I need to help? Like, what? It seems like the exact thing he would be getting involved in.
It seems like so many other MCU projects, too, are like New York focused, in New York, and never seemed like Doctor Strange didn't get involved, lost his power. You know what I'm saying?
And I mean, at least with him, you can you can write that like, oh,
he's a
wizard. He's in a different dimension. Exactly. He's not here. But we're led to believe that the whole thing with Spider-Man is that he's more grounded now and he's just protecting New York. And so this would definitely be something he would need to respond to.
The answer is he's locked up in Sony legal jail, which is the reason he doesn't show up to anything.
That's really fun for us.
He just can't appear but in X amount of things. And I don't think... I was reading that apparently Kingpin cannot show up in the movies. So for him to do whatever he's doing, it's got to be done on the TV screen.
That's lame. They need to work that out.
So Daredevil's going to be able to cross over a lot more, but Kingpin is kind of tied up as a Spider-Man villain. So, like, he can be in Marvel TV shows. I think that's kind of the agreement.
Yeah. So we'll get
And
Daredevil.
that's from Vincent D'Onofrio himself. Like, he said
Right.
that. He said, I can't be in MCU movies.
So we'll get Daredevil in other things, but not him. Daredevil.
Yeah.
Daredevil's
He's already been in She-Hulk, Spider-Man.
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
So that's the reason you haven't seen them do more with Kingpin, because Kingpin really could be a very good MCU multi-movie villain if they did it with the right heroes. Because it's like if you're not killing, a guy like Kingpin can come back at you more street level, guerrilla warfare type things. It's not like he's going to have a giant robot every time. He's going to be like defunding a charity or something where you can't just punch your way out of it.
Right. They do still need to show, and man, they did a great job of showing us a little bit, but like making him a little more just kind of menacing at a high level. Like, like Thanos was just like legitimately like stronger than, anything we've seen before. Like,
see, but you can't do that with Kingpin. And he did that the best way he can on a street level show.
Yeah.
That was a brutal scene. I love
the Gallo.
I'm glad they did the Gallo,
Commissioner Gallo.
The Gallo crush.
Yes, that head pop, the head squeeze. I mean, right in front of the task force. I mean, that making a statement like, look, I can literally brutally murder the commissioner now, and there's not anything anyone can do or will do about it. Like,
he let the commissioner talk, then he said everything you're saying is wrong. This is what's really happening, and then killed him. And
I mean, kill is putting it very lightly.
To get censored. He crushed him. I knew as soon as we saw that conversation with him and the woman, the advisor.
BB?
No, the advisor, not BB.
Oh,
BB didn't give away.
Yes. Sheila.
Yeah, when I saw that, I knew one of them was crooked, but I thought it was going to be a real twist and it was going to be Gallo. I thought she was going to get taken in, and it turned. And I think that's what they wanted you to think. They were preying on my misconception.
I don't think she's out of the woods.
But she's definitely in bed.
I think she thinks she's clear, but Fisk had that recording of their conversation that he was listening to, and now I think is operating.
I think she gave him the recording.
That
That was the reveal.
To cover her.
Okay,
I misunderstood.
That's how she told him. Yeah. That was her giving him up. She recorded it.
Okay. I thought he recorded both of them. But
no,
you're saying she did. Okay,
because something would have happened to her too.
Well, that was the thing.
That's why they cut. That's why they cut to her looking regretful, leaning on the wall while the recording was playing. Like,
I interpreted that as her looking worried, like, what if he finds out that I was in on this too? But I see what you're saying.
No, I'm almost positive it must be that like she gave him up, because like he couldn't have recorded. He would have caught the first recording if he was just recording what Gallo was saying.
No, because she was
wearing the recorder.
But she also seems to like empathize, or maybe that was just her doing a good job of getting him to say what needed to be said. Get the heat off of her.
The only thing we know about her is that she's worked with every mayor in recent memory. Like she's a politician. Don't believe her.
Yeah. No, fair.
Yeah, don't fall for that.
We really saw Michael step into some more power too. Getting all those, like, was it councilmen or whatever, like in that room?
Yeah, getting all of city council, blackmailing city council into his agenda. Exactly.
Yep. And I love the way that he kind of delivered all of that. Like it's all made to be like so on the surface friendly and like, oh yeah, the mayor's just doing what he thinks is best to protect New York, and anyone that doesn't agree with them, like, we'll figure that out. Like, it doesn't seem scary on the surface or whatever, but like you're just like terrified listening to him talk.
Yeah, I don't think we're wrong about the BB Michael intertwined fate angle. I just think we're a season early. I think they're going to keep building the characters, like you said.
Yep.
I really hope that whenever BB's fate is tested, I hope that it's a turn of fate and she escapes.
Yeah.
Unlike her uncle, because that was a brutal moment in the original Netflix show when her uncle goes down. It's like, man, this guy's the soul of the show right now. Everybody else is so pessimistic, and then dead.
Yep.
Oops,
well, so we do. We've mentioned the blackout. We've got. We were also right about Frank coming back into play.
Yeah,
Frank got a lot of
back
Frank
into play.
Yeah, a lot of Frank actually.
Honestly, and I love the way they did that. They did it in a way where Frank Castle literally was not just looking at those guys and telling them what the hell's wrong with you. He was looking at the guys that proliferate the internet using the Punisher symbol and just being kind of like dicks about everything.
You're thinking
put
there
it
was like
mildly.
some deeper message going on there, like further
I
than the
thought it was
show?
clear. Yeah, I thought it was a crystal clear message. He wasn't just talking like, like the people, and I don't want to throw any specific area, but it's like
Sure, I gotcha.
super militiaed civilians who have deep beliefs will wear the Punisher symbol because it's cool. And he was
Yeah.
saying that to them as much as he was saying it to those actors. It's like, you don't know my pain. You don't know my struggle. Like, you don't know why I do this. You're
Yeah.
not doing this while I do this.
Yeah. No, that was a cool scene. Him being, I mean, it was unfortunate that he got kind of captured and was put in that situation and everything. But like you said, him kind of not giving in that moment was cool. And the fight that led up to that, the fight with it was him and Matt, against all the guards was awesome. Like seeing like in real time the difference in their fighting styles too, where Matt's refusing to kill, of course, and then meanwhile Punisher's literally like blowing dudes' heads off.
Well, and I think too, it's also like the fact that Punisher didn't die right there because he's human. Like he probably should have died, but the fact is that every other person being held captive and the whole thing with Adam and him keeping Adam captive, like they've set up this angle to where it's very believable plot armor that the Punisher lived, if that makes sense. Like usually I'm like, oh my, okay, plot armor. Like you just all of a sudden couldn't kill anymore. I killed 12 guys on the way in here.
But since they've established like the precedent of Fisk keeping prisoners,
I think they earned it. I think they earned the payoff on that.
Yeah, that was a fun. I know we're kind of skipping ahead a little bit, but that was a fun after credits scene. Like saw that coming a mile away. I was like, he's definitely going to convince this guard to walk over to him.
It felt so much like Book of Boba Fett. It felt like when they were teasing Book of Boba Fett for a new show out of The Mandalorian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it felt very much like a show that isn't used to doing this kind of thing.
Yeah, what do you mean? You thought it was a little sloppy?
You just saw it coming a mile away.
Yeah, I just saw it coming for sure. Yeah.
It just wasn't like, what's going to happen here?
At least I would think that Fisk or whoever's in charge of security down in the prison would be like, hey, don't go over to him. Like, don't approach him. Like, stay away from Frank.
He's well known in this world.
That's what I'm saying.
He shouldn't have to tell them.
Yeah, exactly.
That part's a little less believable, but you know why they did that. They needed to free up the character for whatever he does next. Yeah.
Exactly. We do get, like you were saying, so Frank came back. We kind of talked about him a good bit. We got Karen that came back. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
And that we kind of thought she was going to come back only in the episodes that were reshoots because she wasn't in the original show.
Yeah.
And it does kind of take the teeth out of the whole Heather angle of it. Until the whole moment where he says Karen's name, and it seems like that may have been the nail in their coffin. We're not sure if she might have gone full Kingpin for that reason. But
I mean, she did take a moment and pause when she was offered that position in his cabinet or whatever you want to call it. But then she like in that moment, you knew she was thinking about what he said. Fisk is dangerous, but she still made the decision. So it's one of two things. She either is kind of like you said, going like full Fisk or whatever, and that was the moment, broke the straw that broke the camel's back, or she wants to be kind of like the inside woman, so to speak. Be close to him and be able, if she does believe Matt that he's dangerous, maybe accepting that position strategically to be able to kind of really keep an eye on things from the inside.
Yeah, and it's also like the love triangle of it all. It's Heather, Karen, and it's Matt.
Yeah,
but it's also Matt
Frank
and
too.
the Punisher and Karen.
Yeah.
But see the whole thing with the Punisher is that if he couldn't love again. Like he won't give up his war to avenge his family. And by not giving up that war, not putting that down, you never open up to love again.
But I don't know that I think they might have been trying to tell us that he's never really stopped loving or at least caring. Like, I think she said something like, you still don't care, something like that, and left the room. And then he was like, be safe or something along that. I can't remember the exact way.
No, he cares about Karen, but what I'm saying is like, he's not going to romantically be able to commit to her. He's got trauma, PTSD. He wakes up screaming. He lives in a bunker surrounded by bullets and grenades.
Yeah.
Matt Murdock is over in She-Hulk, hooking up with people in here. All seasons of Netflix. Matt Murdock is the man-ho of the MCU.
He
So I'm
took
just saying that.
RDJ's place, Tony Stark's.
You know what? They never even did as much with RDJ as they did with this one.
Honestly, yeah, that was all Pepper. Like, we were made to kind of think that he was Playboy. I mean, they literally told us Playboy, billionaire, philanthropist. But he was only ever with Pepper.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's because he was a Playboy for one movie.
Yeah,
They
at the
needed Iron Man to
beginning
work.
of one movie. Yeah.
So I think, we'll talk more about it as they set up, but Jessica Jones reported on set. A lot of characters will probably be coming in to join this fight. I think it's going to be very much a Defenders kind of team up to see like one versus Daredevil's getting his guys. Kingpin's got his guys. Will Kingpin get some more guys to add? Who does Bullseye work for? Does Bullseye like anybody? Would he even help? Is he going to be just the third wheel anytime he shows up to fight? Yeah.
Nope.
I'm just here to win. There's reports from set that there's already a comic book costume accurate rematch between Bullseye and Daredevil planned for sometime next season.
Okay. Nice.
So I'm seeing a lot of notes like that don't give really anything specific away except for something might happen at some point.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like when you found out during the Obi-Wan show that you would get to see Darth Vader and Obi-Wan fight again because of that beautiful language. That's a presence I haven't felt in a long time. Vague. We could have them fight a bunch. We just have to have a little bit of distance.
What do you think the end game is for Fisk? I mean, obviously he got his Project Red Hook, ready to go. So he has pretty much effectively established New York
they revealed it. They said he wants a new city state. It's Red Hook. It's not New York.
Yeah.
He's going to control New York as long as he can. But if he retreats to Red Hook, he'll have his own independent city state outside of U.S. jurisdiction where he can legalize crime.
Yeah. Yeah. So what? And so
how could you do anything more Kingpin than make a city where crime's cool?
Well, but okay. So then what? Is he going to kick up his feet and be like, I did it? Like, what? I mean, does he want world domination? Like, what is his, I'm just scared. I wonder what his next move is going to be, is what I'm getting at.
Well, we have to, first of all, let's see if he even establishes the city. That's just a goal of his. He hadn't even done it yet. So it's still a shipping yard where he just doesn't want the police to go.
Yeah.